You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, Days of Our Lives fans. It is Belinda from Soap Dirt, and I have got your day's episode info for today, Friday, July 28th, 2023. It is a wedding day, and there is big news, and there's a cheating groom, and there is a whole lot going on this episode. We're excited to share the official spoilers with you. You can look at the DeMera mansion today to be filled with Rafe Hernandez, Jada Hunter, Kristen DeMera, EJ DeMera, Nicole Walker, Gabby Hernandez, Stefan DeMera, Gwen Rischek, Leo Stark, and Dimitri von Leuschner. That is a whole house full of people, but that's because there are two weddings that are gonna happen. Looks like one on Friday and one on Monday, unless they drag the Friday one over into Monday, in which case we might get two on Monday, but we won't know until everything plays out today on the NBC streaming soap opera. So the first thing to talk about is not wedding related, it is baby related. Nicole Walker finds out that her test results are back. Remember, they did a DNA swab on EJ to do genetic testing to find out if there's anything to know about. By Monday, Sloan Petersen is tampering with those test results, and we're wondering if this is going to cause a medical crisis because they won't know that something's wrong with the baby, or because they think is something wrong with the baby, but it's actually not. It just depends on how Sloan tampers with the test. So there's a scene from this week's promo that has not played out yet, and that's with Eric chewing out Sloan about keeping something from him. But nothing like this has happened, and the test tampering isn't even happening till next week. So if it comes out next week, it will be deep into next week. None of the spoilers point to a reveal that soon. And because of that, I am fairly certain that this scene from the promo is a nightmare, a bad daydream, a fake out, like her just looking off into space. I think that that's what she's thinking before she decides to tamper with the test. So we shall see. With Nicole being at the mansion all day, I'm guessing she's going to get a text or a call. So the next spoiler is that Rafe tells Jada that he is ready to go public. Hey, we're going to dig into this more and give you the other spoilers as well. But if you haven't already, please reach down, click that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our day's updates. If you click the bell, you'll get a notification when there's a new video ready for you. All right. So Rafe wants to go public with Jada, and they decided to do it by splashing out in fancy dress as a couple to go to his sister Gabby Hernandez's wedding to Stefan DeMera. So they show up at the mansion, they're arm in arm, they are looking very handsome together, very happy together, and he's unemployed, but at least he can date who he wants. And considering how unlucky in love Rafe Hernandez has been, I mean, he's better off letting the job go and trying to keep a woman in his life. How many women in Salem have dumped him? We joke about this sometimes, but I don't know, Nicole has, Sammy has, let's see, he did the dumping with Ava Vitale, but there's been a lot of women walk out on him. So it's kind of painful and it's kind of messy. Nicole's there with the guy she's pregnant with, and awkward. So they're out and they're doing a couple things together. We have Dimitri von Leuschner sexting Leo on his wedding day. Dimitri's in his red silky robe and he's sitting in his fancy bed in the mansion, and he's sending naughty texts to Leo. And then Gwen spots Leo texting and looks at his phone. But since she still shows up over to the mansion to get married, Leo obviously has him saved into his phone under another name. Maybe it's Magic Wand Man, since that's what he calls Dimitri's junk. We'll have to see, but the guys are still getting away with it. However, as Dimitri is texting Leo, Kristen gets a peep over his shoulder. The big question for me, is there any chance that Kristen might cave and warn Gwen? Is there any chance that Leo might cave and warn Gwen? I mean, Dimitri basically leveraged both Kristen and Leo to buy their silence, and we'll have to see, because Kristen has those custody papers signed by Brady after she dropped the charges, so it doesn't seem like she needs Dimitri's help. and Gwen's kind of her sort of friend / co-conspirator. So we're not going to see how their wedding works out until Monday, it looks like. Then we have Gabi and Stefan actually getting married. In the promo for this week, Stefan tells Dimitri, "I'm getting married today." And Dimitri says, "Me too," which really wipes the smile off Stefan's face and leaves EJ looking pretty gobsmacked. So it looks like Dimitri and Gwen are going to barge in and force a double wedding uninvited. How bad is it when someone crashes your wedding? Pretty bad. How bad is it when someone crashes your wedding and decides to make it their wedding? Really pretty awful and tacky, but Dimitri is Eurotrash, and he was raised by Megan Hathaway when she wasn't in a coma, so we can't really expect decent behavior from him. And as for Gwen, we know we can't expect decent behavior from her either. So it looks like Gwenny is not going to figure out what is going on with her groom and her bestie before the ceremony because she's at the mansion. She's all smiles. She's saying hey to everybody. And she is definitely ready to say I do. We have one last undated spoiler for this week that we haven't seen play out that maybe plays out on Friday, unless it's already happened and the spoiler was overblown. The spoiler was that EJ confronts Nicole about Eric. I don't feel like that's happened this week already in the episodes that we've watched, but it could be at the hospital the other day when EJ was kind of making snarky comments about them going to Lamaze class together when talking with Sloan and Eric. And then Nicole said something to him and he said something back. And then they were talking about communicating clearly. So that might have been the confrontation. I don't know. It didn't feel like a confrontation, but this might have just been a poorly written spoiler. That's all the juice we have got for the Days of Our Lives episode for Friday, July 28th. We should get most of the way through with one wedding, hopefully, but not the second one because wedding stuff carries over into next week. If you haven't, we'd love it if you would click subscribe so you don't miss any of our Days of Our Lives update. If you enjoyed this update, we'd love it if you'd click a like, and please comment below. I read every single one of your comments. I don't always have time to reply, but I read every single one of them and I enjoy them. Thanks so much for listening.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.